product, or?
It's still a very good product. I think Champix.
Oh, okay.
Welcome back to Morning Live. 7:13. The TSX yesterday gained 11 points. The Dow rose 48 and the Nasdaq was up by 11 as well. Canadian dollar is up a single basis point this morning to 98.99 cents US. We're going to have more on our dollar in just a moment. Gold is down $2.50 to $1,121.70. And crude oil is down 91 cents to $82.02 a barrel. Now back to the dollar. Economists at the Royal Bank say the new norm for our loonie will be near or at par with the US dollar for the next couple of years.
From an importing standpoint into Canada, the stronger the Canadian dollar, absolutely the better.
Some businesses, though, aren't so keen on the soaring loonie. Tourism industry operators say a combination of new passport regulations and the strong dollar are really hurting them, and the manufacturing sector has relied on a weak Canadian dollar for years. Federal Industry Minister Tony Clement says a lot of companies are going to have to change the way they do business.
I think the new normal is that you don't just rely on a low Canadian dollar as your productivity edge. And I think most businesses have gotten that point now and are making the adjustments.
Par is a new reality, and par is not a ceiling. There's nothing stopping the Canadian dollar from exceeding par with the U.S. greenback. And you know, unfortunately, we don't know where it's going to go.
If the dollar continues on its path, though, there is growing speculation the Bank of Canada is going to delay plans to hike interest rates this summer to make sure that our economy does not overheat.
More trouble for Toyota this morning. Now it's working on a fix for computer flaws in more than 1 million Corollas and Matrixes that can cause engines to stall. Toyota says the problem affects the 2005 through 07 model years, and this includes the Pontiac Vive because it's a twin to the Matrix and made at the same California plant. At this point, Toyota says the problem involves less than 1% of all models and doesn't pose a significant safety risk.
Well, Kraft is cutting the salt. Kraft says it plans to reduce its sodium levels in its North American products by about 10% over the next couple of years. The company says cutting back on salt will obviously be good for customers. It'll also be good for business because the reductions could eliminate Kraft's need for more than 10 million pounds of salt. Yeah. Well, a Japanese company has unveiled a cigarette-like device that does not burn tobacco or release smoke. A cylinder that's filled with tobacco leaf is fitted with a mouthpiece so that smokers can inhale and have the same full effect of smoking, but without the need to exhale smoke. Since the product doesn't pollute the air, it helps people nearby avoid the effects of secondhand smoke. Company official says this product eliminates smokers' concerns that they're disturbing the people around them.
And that leads us to our next story in health news. It's a habit many have been trying to break for decades, but when it comes to quitting, there's a lot of help and resources there to help. In fact, one on TV right now, Randy Gunning, a pharmacist with Dell Pharmacy and a trained consultant on smoking cessation. Thanks so much for hooking up with us. We just saw that new product. There are a number of new products out there. What kind of people are showing up these days asking for help?
Well, Bob, thank you for having me this morning. There are a lot of people showing up, even though it's not as obvious in society anymore. Still about 15% of people are smoking, and it crosses all ages and lifestyles.
We just saw that new product, and I know there's other inhalers out there. What is getting the most success? Personally, I quit smoking about 10 years ago. I used Zyban, which was, I know it's been popular. It was initially an antidepressant, but the people in the, in that research, they were actually quitting smoking, so that became that byproduct. So that worked for me, but does it depend on the individual in terms of cold turkey or weaning them off, and what's working best in your experience?
It does depend on the individual. Most people are probably choosing nicotine replacement therapy as their therapy of choice. Mm-hmm. And along with that, they should probably get some counseling from a pharmacist or a certified smoking specialist like myself. As specialists, we've been trained to be able to assist people in quitting smoking by determining their readiness to quit, assessing what their needs are to smoke, providing them with the right product and the program to fit their lifestyle. Analyzing what particular problems they might have to help them with, say, stress or with social smoking aspects of it.
And there's very much a physical aspect to it as well, and that's why we, like Nicorette, for example, has come out with this inhaler as part of the nicotine replacement therapy, because the hand-to-mouth gesture is a huge factor, isn't it?
It is. Habit is a huge factor in contributing to people not being able to quit smoking. And as a trained specialist, I can offer them quite a few tips as to how they can deal with those habits.
Well, we thank you so much for hooking up with us. We've run out of time, but again, it's best to talk to an expert, because it's the addiction to nicotine, if you can just speak on that before we go, it's compared to heroin. It's that bad, isn't it?
It is. It is. Nicotine can be just as addictive as heroin. As a matter of fact, it can actually get to the brain faster than heroin can, which makes it very important that when people want to try to quit, that they not only pick up a product, they also get counseling. And just as a reminder that upcoming in March is Cancer Awareness Month, and that would be a good time to quit. As a matter of fact, any time would be a good time to quit, and your pharmacist is here to help.
Okay. Hey, thanks for the expert help, Randy Gunning from Dell Pharmacy. And that wraps up Health News at 7:19.
And now we got weather and traffic news, and it's good from Leslie Stewart today.
Yes, it is. A nice light